This is my 24th year teaching and 13th at Rockhurst. I'm at Rockhurst, which is a Jesuit institution, and since I've been there in 13 years, I've had 5 presidents and 5 deans. So it's been a road to figure out what it is that they wanted and what I like to do. But the reasons I like to teach, I'm going to start there. I had more, but we'll cut it short. Time freedom. I am not an 8 to 5. I did the industry thing. I was a cost accountant, financial analyst. I'm not an 8 to 5 or 8 to 8 person. I like to work in the middle of the night, so I love that part. I put in 2,000 hours in 8.5 months. I do my job, but it's in my own time period, which is good because students tend to be night people, so they'll be emailing me at midnight and I'll be responding, and they're always just impressed with that. I love the fact that I can be creative. I can figure out every 5 months. Even if I'm teaching a course I've taught before, my courses never look the same from year to year. I am always improving them, always changing them, always trying to add something new, even if that means listening to NPR on the way into work and pulling something out of what I just heard as I walk in. And I suggest you do that. Bring in that. We have the Wall Street Journal program in our school, which means every student gets a free Wall Street Journal, which means I can say, did you read in the Wall Street Journal yesterday? Or I can assign things for them to do with the Wall Street Journal. You're always learning. That's the great thing about being a faculty member. You don't get to get stale, or I don't believe you should allow yourself to become stale. Let me put it that way. And I love to watch the light bulbs go on. I never call myself a teacher. When someone asks me what I do for a living, I say I'm a creator and a facilitator of learning processes, because that's what I am doing, and I am doing it all the time. I won't give you my story. I have an EDD from a school of business, which most schools would not automatically consider me academically qualified. According to them, I'm outside my field. Even though it's from School of Business, it's an EDD. So I had the pleasure of learning how to teach. I had 9 hours that I had to take outside of the School of Business to learn how to teach. So I learned how to do curriculum, I learned how to build lesson plans, I learned about how to go through assessment processes and so forth. So when I do research, and this is something I make a point of, I don't do research unless it makes me a better teacher or helps me develop something that makes them better accountants when they get out. So I'm not the typical research. I do case studies, I do methods of teaching, testing them, seeing what works, what doesn't work, those sorts of things. So I'm educational research. And that can sometimes be accepted. It depends on the school that you choose to go to. So that's another thing to think about when you talk about tenure there or whatever, what is it that they require? I'll give you a practitioner's view because I've helped a practitioner enter into the school of Hellsberg School of Management where I work. John Meyer, who used to be CFO at Sprint, wanted to teach. He came to the president of the university. The president of the university called me in and said, Gail, I've got somebody that's in accounting that wants to teach. Will you find a way to get him involved? He's going to be retiring in 3 years, and it'd be nice if we had a place here to help bring him in. So I brought him into a class where I was doing service learning projects, which basically means I was working with clients. My students were doing projects for outside clients. And he helped. He came around, he worked with different groups, he would come in and troublemaker during the group meetings, help them work through problems and so forth. And he started to get involved, and he did that for a semester for me, and then he said, I really don't want to teach accounting, Gail, I want to teach leadership. Right now, he is the director of our Center for Leadership and Ethics, and he teaches for us on a regular basis. So there are many roads and avenues into that, and if you're thinking about doing this when you retire, pick a school you like in your area, get some experience that way. You can always move once you're retired if you don't want to stay in that area. That's what John's plan is. I know he's going to move back to the East Coast in another couple of years, but anyway, it's a way to get in. I'm trying to think. Crafts of teaching. What I would say is I'm not a lecturer. Sophomore level, I may lecture in problems. Junior level, I stop hand-holding even more, and it's they're part of the process. Always they're part of the process. By the graduate level, they're helping me design the course and what's going to happen. And I have certain requirements and confinements for it, but there are different things that I go about. And I don't have much time, so I'm not going to spend it on that. If you want to come by during the craft of teaching session, I'll happily talk about that. I have 2 presentations. I was going to put one up, but after seeing what you seem to be interested in, I may put up a different one by then. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them about service learning, experiential learning, different ways to get graduate students to do something that's in their field but learning the topic, anything like that. I'd be happy to talk with you. Hopefully I didn't take us over.
Let's give our